Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm the GQ Jedi. If you're not already subscribed to me, blast the subscribe button down below so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. Today I wanted to talk about figure variations. There are a few figures in this Kenner collection that we only got one of, and surprisingly, it's kind of a head scratcher for me as to why Kenner didn't give us other versions. Just was staring at my action figure run behind me, and there's something that's been kind of gnawing at me, and today I wanted to point out a few figures that I believe should have gotten a second version. Darth Vader is one of the most important characters in the Star Wars franchise, and Kenner only gave us one action figure of him to play with, which is this fella right here. And if you know vintage Kenner Star Wars figures, then you recognize this fella instantly. Probably have one or two in your collection. This is a great figure. He does come with a vinyl cape and a single or double telescoping lightsaber, which is a nice feature. But Vader only got one. We only got one figure of him, one version, whereas in some of the other heroes got a couple different figures throughout the trilogy, maybe even perhaps two figures in each movie. You know, but Vader just stayed the same. He looked like this, dressed all in black. The suit never really changed, except for the head sculpt on the costume, the helmet sculpt, and the chest plate. The button arrangements and the lights differed a little bit throughout the trilogy, but only the uber nerds like us will have recognized that. But for the casual fan and collector, probably didn't have any idea that that was a apparent change through the movies. And I'm guessing that's why Kenner didn't make us a second action figure. They only gave us this one, figuring one and done, he's perfect. Why mess with the good thing? I know some of you are saying, but wait, Anakin Skywalker is Darth Vader. That is true, but I consider Anakin to be a separate figure altogether. He is the light side embodiment of Luke Skywalker's father. And Darth Vader is Darth Vader. He is the evil personified in a black menacing suit. So when I'm talking about Darth Vader, I mean just Darth Vader in the black suit. Although correct, Anakin is Darth Vader. Anakin is his own figure, in my opinion. Personally, I would have liked to have gotten a second Vader with maybe a different chest plate arrangement, maybe green lights or blue lights or different buttons or something on it, and changing out the lightsaber, giving us a lightsaber like the Bespin Luke, actual removable, instead of the telescoping version that we got here. I think if Vader was packaged with a different lightsaber, that would have been cool. I would have been excited about that, and just having another Vader in general. I think perhaps one that looks the most like the Return of the Jedi version of Vader that we saw in the movies with the different chest plate would have been awesome. Yes, guys, we should have gotten a removable helmet Darth Vader. I fully agree. I know we got the Anakin figure, and I know I mentioned that they are separate, but Vader, you know, he was still a Vader in this suit. We could have just simply had the helmet pop off and showed Anakin's face under there. I think that would have been a nice transitional action figure, and if you put the helmet back on, he's still Vader. You could still rock it. We would, you know, he would pull double duty, so to speak. Be like two figures in one. That would be his only costume change per se, without actually changing the costume, if that makes any sense. I really truly feel like Kenner blew it big time by not giving us a removable helmet Darth Vader. Damn it. Ben Kenobi, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, is another figure that we only got one version of. Well, the paint apps on the hair, white and gray, those would be the two distinct variations, I'd say. And of course, they do have a single or double telescoping lightsaber. But in general, it's the same action figure, guys. We only got one version throughout the trilogy, which is this lovely fellow with the vinyl cape, similar to Vader. But we did see a Force Ghost version of Ben Kenobi in Empire Strikes Back and in Return of the Jedi, and I think it would have been awesome if we could have maybe gotten a blue version of this. Somehow Kenner could have created a blue version, you know, a completely all blue hologrammy Force Ghost looking version of this. Maybe even the exact same mold all the way across the board, but just a different look. Getting a Force Ghost version of Ben would have been awesome, in my opinion. I do love this action figure. It's classic 70s retro Star Wars. But honestly, I still think a Force Ghost attempt by Kenner would have been awesome. I would have definitely made use of him on Hoth and in my Dagobah playset setup. Everyone's favorite Wookiee, Chewbacca. Companion to Han Solo, of course. Most lovable and fearsome character perhaps in the entire trilogy is Chewbacca. And Kenner only gave us one of him. We got one Chewie through the whole line. I think Kenner nailed Chewbacca with the slick back hair from episode 4 with this look. Nailed it, absolutely nailed it to the wall in my opinion with this Chewbacca. Beautiful figure, the likeness is spot on. But as we know throughout the trilogy, Chewie's hair changed a bit. On Hoth, you got a bunch of snow in it when Han and him went out to deal with the probe droid. And on Endor, his hair was considerably fluffy and more of a froey type combed out look, not so slicked back. Chewie looked like he'd been through some stuff. So getting an Endor version of Chewie would have been awesome with his hair just molded, sculpted differently. And like I said, on Hoth, giving us a Hoth version of Chewie with some snow painted on, some snow apps painted onto him would have been awesome in my opinion. Just, you know, all the other heroes, Han, Leia, and of course Luke, heck, even the droids, all got a different version of them. Chewie's the only one that didn't get a second version, kind of like him not getting a medal at the end of episode 4. He kind of got left out. Come on, this is Chewie we're talking about, guys. Chewie deserves a medal. Chewie deserves another figure. We deserve another figure. I would have personally liked to have 2 more versions of him, a Hoth version and a Endor version of Chewie. Just to have a different look, so it would be distinct, so you could know that this was Chewie from this movie, this scene. You know, Chewie rocks the fluffy hair the minute we see him in Jabba's palace, and then again on Endor. I would have loved to have had that action figure. XWing Luke, otherwise known as every single other pilot in the entire Rebel fleet. XWing Luke was, well, he was the substitute. He was Wedge, he was Biggs, he was everyone. That's right, Kenner only gave us one X-Wing pilot, and it is X-Wing Luke, this fella right here. And just a little quick notation here. That black stuff above his eyes, that's his visor, that is not his hair. I've pointed this out before in an earlier video, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware of that. But yes, Kenner only gave us one X-Wing fighter pilot, and that is Luke. Would have loved to have seen a different face sculpt on another X-Wing pilot, maybe one with a mustache for Biggs, or I don't know, just any way to change up the flight suit or the insignias on the helmet would have been a very easy thing for them to do, giving us a different giving us a different X-Wing pilot. But we just got this one, good old Luke. Such a shame. Like I said, he was the fill-in for every single other pilot in the entire movie. Wonder why Kenner didn't see fit to give the other pilots any glory in 3 3/4 inch plastic. But they didn't. And so we got X-Wing Luke. And I'm going to be honest, X-Wing Luke is a spectacular action figure. He looks awesome. He's smooth as ice. But again, I personally would have liked to have gotten some more X-Wing pilots. The Imperial Commander. This is the other figure I want to point out. We only got one Imperial officer in the entire trilogy. Just this one from Kenner, otherwise known as General Veers. Of course, there's General Veers in his AT-AT getup, but this is also General Veers in his Imperial officer outfit, and Kenner only gave us one of him. I would have loved to see more Imperial officers with different face sculpts, different insignia ranking on their outfit, perhaps a different shade, olive color, or something different on their suit. Just maybe giving us Admiral Ozzel, giving us a mustache, just anything to differentiate and to make it seem like we had more Imperial officers than one guy here running shop for Vader and the Emperor throughout the entire Kenner trilogy, so to speak. Would have been nice to have more guys on deck. But we just got this one. He's awesome looking, but I would have loved to have seen more variations of this officer. Like I said, a mustache, different insignia bars, anything to make it seem like we had at least another Imperial officer on deck. And that's pretty much it, guys. I'm pretty happy with the rest of what Kenner gave us in this line. Of course, Boba Fett, his costume changed slightly with the colors between Empire and Jedi, kind of like our boy Vader here, so it would have been cool maybe to get a different Boba Fett, but that one I can kind of forgive. Vader was in all 3 movies, so I just felt like, gosh, he should have had a second figure. And of course, I need to point out there is the Death Squad Commander. We only got one of him and no other Imperial besides the Imperial officer, and I'm talking Imperials, I'm not talking Stormtroopers or variations of them. So it would have been cool to perhaps get a different suit on him. And Tarkin, I mean, this is the only Imperial officer we got. You know, truly, we never got Tarkin. Would have been nice to get a Tarkin, but that's pretty much it, guys. I just wanted to illustrate, point out some of the figures I think should have gotten a second version, and maybe talk about why Kenner only gave us one version. So hope that sparks some curiosity in your own minds and thinking about your own collection. And as always, I do enjoy chatting about our Star Wars action figure collection. I appreciate you guys for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please give the old like button a thumbs up to support the channel. And if you've not already done so, blast that subscribe button and hit that notifications bell so you don't miss any valuable Star Wars content. And remember, collect or collect not, there is no try.